Into American steel throughout the United States, all because you had a president who stood up for our steel workers and put America first. I'm very proud of that one. Stood up for everyone else too. But then came 4 calamitous years of a president who obviously wasn't doing the job. I'm trying to be nice, so you know, I have to be nice. But what he did to this country is a disgrace. Between the borders, millions and millions of people pouring through our borders from all countries all over the world. They came from the jails of the Congo. They came from all over South America, prisons, gangs, drug dealers, drug merchants. They came from mental institutions, the mentally insane. They were pouring into our country by the millions. They allowed this to happen to our country. But we're moving them out, or we're moving them out fast, or we're bringing them back to where they came from. We're having a lot of problems with the liberal judges in courts, the radical left crazy judges that, you know, they come in without courts. They pour into our country totally unvetted and unchecked. Nobody checked them. Nobody had any idea who they were. 11,888 of them were murderers. 50% of those over 11,000 people that were murderers, 50% murdered more than one person. And these people were allowed to come into our country by the Democrats, and you can never forget what they've done. And it's a single, we've beaten inflation. Look at what we've done. Look at the numbers that came out. The prosperity, everything is good. First time ever, right track, wrong track. We're on a right track. First time in 28 years. But they allowed that to happen. I built almost 700 miles of wall. If we didn't have the wall, we could have never done what we did. Over 700 miles, but still they came because they didn't want to finish. They didn't want to close up any gap, the gaps that we had to keep so that we could get our equipment out, so we could get through. They didn't want to put up the final stages. It would have taken 3 weeks to put up the final stages. They said, no, we don't want the wall built. And I thought they were kidding, but they weren't. They wanted open borders, and what they let into our country can never be forgotten. The last administration granted tens of thousands of job-killing tariff exemptions to your foreign competitors. So they were afraid to take down the tariffs that I imposed because it was so good for our country, so much money. But what they did do, think of this, they gave exemptions, and they were so broad and so deep. And I guess you saw that, but the exemptions that they gave allowed foreign competitors to come in and steal our industry, steal our jobs, and bring them back home, and bring them home by the boatload. Crippling imports of foreign steel skyrocketed over the last 4 years like you have never seen before, by over 30%. That's an incredible, crazy number. And imports of steel